Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to support TLC and CRAM's vision of veteran housing in the city of Harrisburg. I'd definitely like to thank everyone in the community for their support, and the whole way through TLC's first tax credit and first development deal in the city of Harrisburg. I think this is major for the city, definitely major for the community. We've been at this for over a year. We won our tax credit last year, and this year we finally at the groundbreaking ceremony today. I'd definitely like to say thank you to PHFA for taking our application and looking at it seriously and awarding it, because the vision was always there for far as TLC, but I couldn't have done it without the PADC, Pennsylvania Diversity Coalition, because it was a collaboration of all the businesses in the community and the vision of everyone in the community. But I just decided, I know I'm a basketball player, I'm a team-oriented person, so it took a team effort. And with the coalition, when we started that over 2 years ago, with that in mind, the team concept was always there. But once we sat down and collaborated, networking, and everybody threw their little insight in, and I just said, by me having a construction background, and I always had the desire to, to build up the community, and I always, supported the community. So the thing was, I wanted to give back, and everyone here knows most developers, they come in the community, they want to, develop something, but they're not really giving nothing back. They just want to build, the basic housing, may give you a fitness room, may put a playground up, but this is a unique development here because we want to do something for the veterans, and no one in the community has never done nothing for the veterans. And I know a lot of people ask, why am I doing something for the veterans? Well, I have a brother who's a veteran, and he's been out of the service for over 20 years, and I think they treat him bad. And for these people to serve this country and can't get nothing back in return and out here struggling is a bad thing to me. And I know a lot of other people that I grew up with, graduated with, older people, and that were veterans, and is bad, man. And a lot of these homeless guys, some of them are vets, some of them are ex-offenders, but they came home with no training. They might have been trained in the military for combat, but they wasn't trained for nothing to, no skills to go to work after combat. So, I'm a ex-offender. I've been out of jail 10 years. And when I got out of jail in 2007, I started my own construction company. By me starting my own construction company, I told myself that I was going to give back to the community by training guys in the community that needed an opportunity. And that's all I needed was an opportunity, because a few times, I went 3 times. Actually, I went to jail 3 different times. I got a total of 7 years in prison. Kept going back because I couldn't find no work or couldn't find nothing meaningful. So, giving back is major to me or getting an opportunity. But this was a major opportunity for me once I got in the door to give somebody else an opportunity. So what I do, I try to train other people and give them an opportunity to work in the field of construction if this is what they're interested in. So, I know it's a lot of talent in this city, but a lot of people don't get the opportunity. But once I got my opportunity, I always said, if I get in, I'm bringing everybody in. So, once we in, we in. So I started my construction company in 2009, and then I started a nonprofit, TLC Work-Based Training, where we train ex-offenders, hard-to-place individuals, and veterans in construction. we got our 501c3 last year, but I actually started the company in 2010, the nonprofit portion. But in this, once we purchased this property here, actually this acre and a half, from Kelker Street to Minnick Street, 5th Street to Fulton Street, happens to be home of CRAM and TLC work-based training. So, you know, with the vision of a vocational training center inside of this building right here, we're going to put a vocational training here where we're going to train these guys up and give them the classroom training, and then we're going to come out and do field work where we're going to actually renovate our own property. So we don't need no one to give us handouts no more. You know, I mean, I'll take a handout, but at the end of the day, I'd rather take a hand up, but you know, but I will take a handout. But well, you know, my thing is, like I said, I think the community can build their own self by, you know, we work within, and then then hopefully we can get other people to, you know, chime in, because a lot of times they want to see what you're going to do. So I just want to see, you know, put my money where my mouth was, and I basically put my own money in here. We wasn't using grants from the beginning. I was using my own money. Whatever I made on projects, we'd come here and do some renovation. We might stop for a while. We was out of here for a few months because we weren't making a lot of money. But at the end of the day, every time I did make a little profit, I came right back in here and started, you know, renovating this building. I mean, it's still a lot of work left to be done, but, you know, I know I'm gonna get it done because I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm serious. And you know, a lot of the guys that work with me and work for me, most of those guys are serious, because I tell them this is only a one-shot deal, because, you know, all it takes is us one time to mess up, and you already know how it is. Once we do one thing wrong, it's gonna spread, like, you know, like they're gonna make an example, make like we, you know, didn't want nothing, because I always wanted something, you know, and I'm pretty sure most of you do too. But, you know, like I said, one thing I would like to say is thank everybody for coming out, showing up. But the vision of this whole block is TLC would like to we want to do this tax credit. We want to do this 20-unit veteran housing first, right here, and it's going to be for the veterans preferably. But if you know, we can't fill it up with all veterans, we definitely will be taking applications for hard-to-place individuals or any individual that's looking for affordable housing. Because I actually grew up in affordable housing myself, but now it's just unique that now I'm developing affordable housing. Well, it's crazy. But another thing I would like to also say is, you know, it ain't just TLC, it's CRAM. CRAM is Juanita Edgerton Grant. She's actually my aunt. Without her, you know, a lot of this stuff couldn't have happened either. We're co-developers on this project and this whole area here. So it's going to be hopefully other development projects in the future. But I would definitely like to bring her up and just to, you know, say who she is, because a lot of people thought that the work-based training was CRAM's idea. It was actually TLC work-based training idea. So a lot of times people was thinking it was the work-based training was CRAM. It was always me. I was the type of person, I just don't like to be in front of the camera and the lights and stuff. So you can see, you know, I don't really like to talk much. I just like to do, you know. But what I also like to acknowledge a lot of politicians in the audience that, you know, came out and supporting the Hub Veteran Housing and supporting the vision of TLC work-based training and CRAM. As Secretary Topper, Mayor Pappenfuss, Kerry Kirkland, Deputy Secretary, Brian Hudson, PHFA, Patty Kim, where's she at? I just seen her. Oh, Patty Kim. I'd also like to, you know, shout out to some gentlemen that were like uncles. They were like educators in the school system that I look up to, and I feel they were great role models in the community that's out here. I see Mr. Jimmy Jones out here. Mr. Hunter, this was my old shop teacher. And William Penn, when they shut William Penn down, this is the guy who taught me, actually. So he taught me the trades of building and trades. And Mr. Hunter retired a few years back. And I don't want to say, but he was my teacher back in the 80s. But Mr. Hunter is the one who's going to be running the classroom training, work-based training. And, the classroom will be inside of this building. I would like to take people through at the end of this groundbreaking so they can walk through the building and see what we're doing here. But we also will be doing field work with a few of my supervisors that would train guys on the job, as well as myself. I don't do as much work no more, but I do like to get dirty. But right now, this is me today. But I would definitely like to bring up Mr. Brian Hudson from PHFA to do a little speak.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's a pleasure, certainly, to be here for a host of reasons. Now, PHFA, we build projects like this all over the state. We've done developments for veterans, but this is especially important because it's home. I grew up one block from here at 1716 North 5th Street. My sister still lives there to this day, so this gives me extra pleasure to be here and be part of this. I want to say congratulations to TLC. Tart mentioned a team effort. We call it a partnership, state, local, and federal, quite truthfully. The tax credits that we allocated, approximately $470,000, will bring about $4.5 million to complete this project. What's significant is that this last year, when these credits were allocated, we did 3 allocations to minority developers in Pennsylvania. This one here in Harrisburg, one in Pittsburgh, and one up in Erie, Pennsylvania. That's significant because that's the first for PHFA and part of our initiative and the governor's initiative to bring minority developers into the fold, not just as subcontractors, but as the developer. So congratulations being one of our first. It's a partnership. The Fulton Bank, I don't know, someone here from Fulton Bank, by the way? Fulton Bank purchases the tax credits. We allocate it. That brings that equity to the table. We actually helped move the original Hamilton Health Center to 17th Street, so it's especially gratifying for me to help renovate this particular location, which was a block from my home. I do want to acknowledge Bishop Ravenel. Bishop, good to see you as always. And Reverend Jones, I'm still a USC fan to this day because of your College Day, so thank you for being here. It's a pleasure from the state and local level to be part of this partnership. As far as I'm concerned, this is just the beginning. We expect to allocate more tax credits, more resources from my agency to help Harrisburg transition into the city that it should be. And Mayor, we're going to be your partner going forward also. So congratulations to the team, TLC. Ms. Juanita, persistence pays off. And she was persistent, by the way. She does not hesitate to ask questions, which is the right thing to do, quite truly. So thank you for all the hard work that you and your team have done also. From our standpoint, we're proud to be a partner in this, and I can't wait to the final dedication. So thank you.
Next up is Secretary Topper, but I also like to thank CRAM's board for all they've done, and TLC Work-Based Trainings Board. And I see them all in the audience, and I forgot to thank all of you for your support and, dedication to this project too. But now I'd like to introduce Secretary Topper.
Good morning. So what a pleasure it is to be here today. Truly a beautiful morning. Believe it or not, this is my old neighborhood too. I can almost see the townhome that I lived in for about 3 or 4 years. Direct line of sight right here to Fulton Street. And it is an absolute pleasure to be here this morning and to be celebrating along with all of you what is clearly going to be a great big step for this neighborhood, and I'm thrilled about it. It's a pleasure to be here with Mayor Poppenfuss, with Brian Hudson from PHFA, and to congratulate Tarek and Juanita on really an extraordinary accomplishment. It's great to be here and to be at this milestone. The project we're celebrating today is really symbolic of the role that small diverse businesses can play in our communities here across Pennsylvania. The project is good for veterans, it's good for Harrisburg, and it's especially good for this community uptown. And I'm excited for the neighborhood. We'll also be breaking ground next summer on the new State Archives facility, which is really just around the corner. It'll be up here off of 6th Street. So I'm very, very pleased that we're able to be making investments in the city. And thanks to the mayor for working so hard to make sure that the state located that archives facility right here. I do appreciate it. As it's being built, the project's going to provide meaningful training and employment opportunities for members of this diverse community. And once it's complete, the new facility is going to enhance the lives of veterans in the community for years to come. It's great to see a small minority-owned firm growing more successful and giving back to its community at the same time. We need to have celebrations like this more often. And Governor Wolf has been tirelessly working to make that happen ever since he was elected. Improving opportunities for small businesses and small diverse businesses across our state is really an essential part of what we're talking about when we talk about jobs that pay. When we say jobs that pay, we mean jobs that pay for everyone. And when we say we need a government that works, we mean we need a government that genuinely works for everyone. We're serious about inclusion. No exceptions, not for race, not for gender, not for sexual orientation or disability. And we're working to eliminate discrimination and disparities in economic opportunity everywhere we can. It really shouldn't have to be a struggle. It's consistent with our highest ideals as Americans. Unfortunately, recent events have really tragically demonstrated that it is still a struggle. And that makes it all the more important, I think, that we take a minute to commend and thank Tarek, Juanita, and everyone who's here, who's been engaging in that struggle tirelessly, really, over many, many years. I hope that you'll all be among us here on August 29th at the Harrisburg Hilton. And I hope that you'll come and you'll provide testimony. We'll be having public hearings as part of the state's first comprehensive disparity study for statewide contracting. It's an important step. It's going to empirically demonstrate and determine the extent to which small, diverse businesses have faced discrimination in statewide contracting. And it's a critical step that will enable the Commonwealth to do a better job, to play a more effective role, and ultimately to make events like today's a much more frequent occurrence. So I hope you'll join us for that event. And just to close, just to say, I want to extend a very personal congratulations to Tarek, to Juanita, and to everyone else who's been involved here in this important project. Thank you.
I'd like to apologize because I did forget someone, and it was who's key on helping this tax credit application go smoothly, and that was Moeller and Lonergan, Miss Laura. Can you please stand up? I need you to stand up. This lady was key to a lot of this stuff. She back and forth. Her and my Aunt Juanita. I can't sit down. I can't do that. I just like to do. But it was key that she's the one who helped prepare this thing, and it was a teamwork of everyone, and it was over a year, and it was tough. So I apologize for missing you. But it's definitely important that everyone knows that Moeller and Lonergan was the one who helped prepare the application. Now, next up, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Eric Pappenfuss.
It's great to see everybody today. What a beautiful, beautiful day we have. Couldn't be better weather. I am very excited. I'm here on behalf of the city of Harrisburg to express once again our support, not only for the hub, but for the vision here for veterans housing. I want to start by thanking some of the speakers that have already come up. I want to thank Secretary Topper and, importantly, Governor Wolf for basically reversing course of the previous administration and committing to develop right here in Harrisburg the new archives building, which he has mentioned. When I took office, the archives was planning to leave for the suburbs, and they recognize that investing right here in the community is part of creating a critical mass of jobs and opportunities and growth right here in Harrisburg. So thank you very much, Secretary Topper. The project's on schedule. It's going to break ground next year. It's going to mean jobs. It's also going to be a place where Harrisburg can learn about its history. There will be an actual Harrisburg history room there. There will be a collection of records, and you can learn about Harrisburg's incredible neighborhoods, such as this one. So that's very exciting. And to Brian and PHFA, it really can't be understated how much work and effort they've put into helping Harrisburg's resurgence. PHFA has funded numerous projects, including this one, with tax credits, and we are very, very fortunate to have a leader of that organization with strong ties to Harrisburg. So thank you, Brian. Thank you for all that you're doing. Look forward to continuing to work with you on all the great projects that I know are in the pipeline for Harrisburg. Some words about Juanita and Tarek. Juanita is the most determined grant writer I have ever met. She has done amazing things. She not only her work with the Leader Family Foundation, but also sort of uncovering every stone that's out there. She has maximized the resources for CRAM in a way that has been an incredible resource for Harrisburg. The city of Harrisburg is proud to have helped support CRAM over the years now with its community development block grant dollars. We wish we had more money to invest, and we certainly hope the current Trump administration will not eliminate those fundings as we move forward in the future, because they're allowing us to provide for amazing opportunities such as we see here behind us at the hub. And I hope everyone will have a chance to go inside after this and see just what that vision is. It's a tremendous vision. It's one that unites not only the workforce training and the career development, but also now with the affordable housing piece, you're really establishing a campus here in the heart of Harrisburg, which is transformative in nature. And I think we should mention as well the Hamilton Health Center, which has gone on to be an amazing asset in its new location, growing and serving the community, but they made sure that their building their old building would become part of this future vision. So that's important as well. Sometimes people will move and leave and forget where they originally started. Tarek is an inspiration to everyone, and I want to just say on a personal level, I've had the opportunity to work with TLC and watch up close as he has patiently mentored individuals, whether it was framing a building or installing drywall. It's incredible to watch, and he has provided opportunities galore here in Harrisburg and has done an amazing job with those projects. That's why I know this is going to be incredibly successful. It's going to have an impact, and it's going to be done very, very well. So Tarek, thank you for all that you're doing. This is a team that is going to do great things. So we mentioned the archives. There is a transportation study underway for improvements to 6th Street. I can tell you that the police department is looking to relocate in this corridor as part of its commitment to Uptown, and there's a lot underway. Again, the hub has the ability to be the genesis of it all because it can provide opportunities for individuals that otherwise wouldn't have those opportunities. We've seen it firsthand, and we're going to see it again in Harrisburg. So thank you for all that you're doing. I'm pleased to participate in this next phase, and the city of Harrisburg will continue to stand with you as this campus develops over the future years. Take care.
know I'm nervous, might not look like it, but I'd like to open the floor up to everyone, but just 1 second. But one thing I would like to also say, this is just phase 2. Phase 1 was the old building, where we're going to renovate the first floor for the training center. The computer lab is going to be in there. CRAM supportive services for veterans, ex-offenders, hard-to-place individuals, and that means anyone who has barriers in employment that need help with things, as far as GED classes, HIV awareness, all the supportive services that CRAM provide. But the second floor will be for-profit business. We're going to rent spaces after we renovate the second floor for, minority diverse businesses up there. The DC is one of our first tenants that's going to be on that floor, as well as other minority business that's looking for office space. I think it's key for all of us to be in one space, because a lot of times in contracting, the primes say they couldn't find no minorities. But if we all in one building, there will be no excuse to say I couldn't find a minority business. So this is going to be a one-stop shop for minority businesses, whether it's construction, professional services. We trying to all be in one spot. So this is why this project is key, and I'm glad it was funded, because after this phase 2, we plan on doing phase 3, which is in that lot right here adjacent to the building on Fulton and Minnick Street. We plan on doing another renovation over there, but TLC Construction plan on doing a lot of that renovation too. But we'll apply for whatever grants or whatever money we can go after to help keep this thing going. Phase 4, we'll be doing some renovations over there. But the whole thing about this training program, these guys will be the ones doing some of this work, because TLC, the for-profit, is, we've done a lot of projects in the city, outside the city, and we would definitely, I feel that we're qualified. Well, we are labor and industry apprentice approved, because I got my certification back in May to teach the classrooms. Like I said, Mike Hunter is a certified teacher, so we'll be actually physically doing the work ourselves. And like I said, I think it's key for us to build our own community. So we'll be building one house at a time, and that'll be their theory. Because a lot of training places, like you can go to Hack, and nothing bad about Hack, but you can go to all these apprenticeship places and certification places, and you go to take the classes, you can get trained, but you ain't got no job. So what's the use? I'm not saying what's the use, but it's hard to find a job after that. But here, we're going to be training them and putting them to work, getting the hands-on training right then and there. And that's what I think is unique about TLC construction and TLC work-based training. They work hand in hand, and I think that's key for what the community needs. A lot of us just need a little brush up, because some of us are skilled already. They just need to brush up on a few things, and some of us learned on the job. But like I said, we have a certified teacher that works with us. And like I said, he was my instructor, and I think I turned out well. I mean, honestly, I do. But I would definitely like everyone to take a look inside the building and see what we're trying to do here. Because like I said, we're renovating the wood shop in there now as we speak. A lot of the guys in the community is out here today. I'd like to thank you for showing up, but I want you all to know that it's not just me. This is for everybody, and I hope everybody see this as a stepping stone for you to step up and do the same thing, because this is bigger than me. I ain't doing it for the show. If anybody know me, I'm not like that. I'm not in it for the money, because I could have made plenty of money, because I put a lot of my money training you guys. I don't make a lot of money, so I just want y'all to know it ain't all about the dollar, it's about the community. So, I would like to turn this over to Juanita Grant, and then we can ask any questions from any supporters or anyone in the audience if you want to ask a few questions. After that, we can definitely walk through the building and see what's going on. Is there anything? Well, here's Juanita Grant.
Thank you. I first thank God for everything because it's my faith and my spiritual life that helps me to move forward to do things like this. Because when Tarek first came to me from my location at 509 Division, where CRAM has been since 2004, through the blessings of Bishop Ravenel, it's Lincoln Memorial Church of God in Christ. It's their house, and Bishop Ravenel told me I can use it as long as I want. So I've been there since 2004. Never was charged rent. If I want to give a donation, I do. If I want to pay the utilities, I do. So I was afraid to move out of there because it's free. So when Tarek came to me and said, you should look at the Hamilton Health Center, I was like, that's too much. I don't need all that space. But when he started educating me about redevelopment and construction and giving back to the community, I felt, well, serving ex-offenders, I'm already giving back to the community. But he kept telling me, Anthony, you got to go bigger. You got to go bigger. So me being afraid to really step out there, except on my faith, I talked to my pastor, who I thank God is here today, Pastor Kevin Scott, the pastor of Shiloh Church of God in Christ. I talked to him, and, you know, he liked the idea because he has a passion for the community also. Because our church is getting ready to build a life center out in the Spotsylvania Township area where there are no services for the underserved population. So after I talked to Tarek a while, he pulled on me. I said, okay, Tarek, let's do this. The most embarrassing thing through this whole process is when I had to go meet our consultants at M&L, which is Lord, she's here. And I told her, I said, Tarek, I can't sit still. I said, I'm going to fall asleep because it's boring to me. If I'm not writing a grant or talking to somebody, I will, because I'm always tired. He said, all right, well, Andy, we got to go there for 4 hours. I said, okay. And he's my brother's son, so he's not like a play nephew. He is my brother's son. I go over there, I'm doing everything I can to stay awake. And the next thing I know, I heard all this laughing and my head was down. I had literally fell asleep and I was so embarrassed. But, you know, I try to be real with people, let them know I'm always working. They said, when do you sleep? I said, I don't know, because I'm asleep. You know, so, but I thank God for people like Patty Kim and Charlotte Plains and all those people who work in different areas in the community that believe in us, because like Tarek, I'm an ex-offender, been to Muncie 4 times. It took 4 times trips to Muncie over 15 years of incarceration for me to get it together and say, you know what, enough is enough. And that's why I don't have a problem serving the ex-offenders and all the other populations that Tarek has brought to the table, the hard-to-place individuals, the veterans. And I thank God for these guys that's here now, what we call our clients. They're dedicated. If nobody else shows up, these guys show up, and they are dedicated. And I am grateful for them. One of the things that Tarek and I agreed to use, the Leader Project. The Leader Project is the former Governor Leader who died in 2013. And unbeknownst to me, he left a $500,000 trust fund for CRAM to run the Leader Project in 6 different counties. And the Leader Project is basically what helps to pay for like vocational training, getting the guys the hard hats and the work boots, the things that they need to get a job. Because what's the use of getting them a job and they don't have the work boots, or they don't have the hard hats, they don't have the transportation, they can't pay their rent. So blessings from the Leader Project and the Leader family, who couldn't be here today. They are a strong supporter with us. With this renovation of this building particularly, I have to give respect to the Leader family and the Wareheim Foundation and the Stabler Foundation, who's given us hundreds of thousands of dollars since we've been renovating this property. So, you know, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful, and this is all new to me. I don't know if I'll do it again because it took too long. I don't have a lot of patience. I have little patience and no tolerance, but I thank God for people like Laura and Brian, who I can call up and say, can I come talk to you for about 15 minutes? I need you to tell me face to face why this thing ain't happening yet. You know, I just, you know, it just seemed like it was never going to happen, and now I understand the process, and I think it's very important that people understand. They look at Tarek and I, and they think we got it going on. We may have, but we lose a lot of sleep. We do a lot of work. We help a lot of people, and it's not easy. We give out of our pocket. We give of ourselves, you know, and we just make sure that people have what they need. I told Tarek I may not be around for the next 12 years for when we got to oversee this project. I said, but at least, you know, if God willing and he let me live, you know, he's young. He can still take this thing further than I can, because I want to tie my hands in a few years and just do some nonprofit consulting. I like helping people to take their visions, going to the 501c3 and getting incorporated. That's what I like doing, in addition to serving the clients. But I'm getting a little old, so I want him to go ahead and do his thing and let me step off to the side. But I am grateful. Like Tarek said, we do have some gentlemen here that can walk you through the building. You can see what we're doing. I know a lot of y'all know people that got money. I'm always looking for money. I have no shame in my game about asking for money. I'm always looking for money, and whether it's $1,000, $10,000, or $100,000. If you give me $1,000, that's going to help one of these guys to get their certification. What we've done so far, we're working on our third guy. By the end of the year, we want to have at least 10 of these clients, these dedicated guys, registered. We're paying for their insurance for 1 year to get their liability insurance so that they can be legit when they start going into different properties. And then we have their mercantile license. We pay for that. And there's some other little $25 fee that the city I can't remember. But the bottom line is we want to get these guys to another level. We don't want to keep them at the labor level. We want to get them to a level where they are not only being subcontractors for TLC, but also to start their own businesses. And after we finish with everything, because it's almost lunchtime, I would invite you all, and I will be down there for a couple of hours to come to Crawl Daddies right at 6 and Raleigh, because that's where we'll be having lunch. If you want to come and talk to us some more and dig in your pockets or write a check, you know what I mean? For not the project we're building. They already got their money. We're talking about this building here. So, and I am ever so grateful to Fulton Bank because they liked our vision. Without Fulton Bank, I don't know if this could have happened. And Brian Hudson sent us to the right people. He sent us to the right people that he knows has the experience to help us along our way. And again, I just want to say, Lord, thank you so much, because I was a pain. I know I was a pain to you, because I was like, no, I'm coming to your office. I got to sit face to face. You know, I need to see this thing face to face. I thank God for my board member, Michelle King, who's here today. I thank God for my sisters in Christ, my spiritual mentor, Doctors, and Bernie, and Sam, my old employer. I'm going to tell y'all something about being an ex-offender. It's always going to be somebody that's going to open the door for you. This man, I was working for the state for 13 years for workers' comp in the legal office. Got my certification from Muncie at Penn State when I was incarcerated. And I interviewed at the Department of State. It was like a confidential position, a paralegal. And I said, these people ain't going to let me sit up here working with these lawyers and looking at doctors' DEA numbers and all that old stuff. And Sam interviewed me, and he hired me. I was the second African American. He was the first. And he hired me, and I was so surprised that they even took me because of the position. And that's where I retired from with the state in 2013. I retired to do CRAM full time so that I can try to take CRAM to another level. So we are in 6 different counties. Tarek will be extending his, whether he knows it or not, he will be extending his work-based training in these other counties. Because there's people that come here in these halfway houses. We have 5 of them that sit in Harrisburg. We have over 500 men and women in halfway houses. They're going back to York and Lancaster and Lebanon. They need something to go back with. We don't want them all relocating here in the city, Mayor. I know you don't want the influx, but we want them to be able to go back home with something. So Tarek will be extending his work-based training to these other counties. So if you know of anybody on a state level, just let us know. I will ask for the money. I'll go talk to him. I'll go see him. I'll write him. I'll do whatever it takes. Just let us know, and we will follow the resource. Thank you again. Is anybody would like to have any comments before we close out and start walking in the building?
No, we're not gonna go in the building yet.
Oh, no? Okay.
We gotta get these shovels and do this ground.
Oh, okay.
That's what this is about.
I forgot about that.
Let me have any questions, James White.
I'd just like to say that this is a remarkable example of the initiative that ex-offenders have been able to bring about into a self-constructive, self-elevating arrangement. I think this should relieve all the alienation about the stereotype category of ex-offenders. Yeah. I'm an ex-offender. Yeah, I have a degree in microbiology from Penn State. I said, and just to cap this off, I had an epiphany while they were mentioning that. You know what that was? The greatest power on this planet, the United States, some of the greatest economic examples, Australia and New Zealand, were all conquered by ex-offenders because Europe dumped all the elements of their prisons and they're wretched. They brought them here to conquer this country. So if we actually go right on down the pipeline of genetics, the majority of achievers in this country are the product of ex-offenders, their great-grandfathers and grandfathers before that. So I see a connection here for us all continue to grow on that. And I rest my case.
Before we go grab these shovels, I would like Secretary Topper, Mayor Pfaffenfuss, Brian Hudson. You all have hard hats over here for you in the shovel. But I'd also like to thank Wilson Construction, who is the general contractor on this Hub Veteran Tax Credit Project with the 20 apartments. Like them to come forward and give everyone a hard hat and a shovel, because these guys, I worked with them on 4 other projects and they're a good company, and that's why I selected those guys to be our general contractor. And I think they work well in the community, and because they have always shown me that they have a commitment to minority businesses in the community.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
TLC work-based training on that side, CRAM supporting services on this side of the building, computer lab right here. Upstairs is going to be diverse businesses upstairs. Well, we ain't even get to the upstairs. We're going to focus on downstairs first.
Oh, okay.
After this is done.
It's like a business incubator?
Yes. This whole side from here to here is all Juanita's, all her supporting services and all her staff. This is the computer lab right here. We're gonna put 15 computers in here. This is another office space for rent. Another office space for rent. Another office space for rent. So it could be other nonprofits that's looking for office space. Yeah, whoever's looking for an office space that's nonprofit, we're gonna keep them all on the same floor. Now this whole side is TLC work-based training. We're gonna make this all open space because this is gonna be all wood shop. So what we'll do is we'll have maybe a few desks where we have 6, 7 people, they learning, but they're gonna be inside of the wood shop right then and there. That right there is gonna be the tool room in there once we get it done, painted up.